Dear students, now I am going to start a new topic, Unit 10, Phylum Mollusca. Today I am going to discuss some general characters of phylum Mollusca. Have you seen these animals? Have you identified this? So this, if you go to seashore, if there is a rock lying to the seashore, so you might have find this animal. So this looks like the shell looks like a tusk shell, elephant tusk like. So this you might have seen in your garden. So this you might have seen in your areca plantation or banana plantation. Of course, this bothering you during your rainy season in the garden, eating some of your garden plants or vegetable plants. Some of you having this in your holy place in the puja room. Of course, you know the famous Shell oil company or petroleum company. You might have seen this, you played with this cowrie, and you might have collected this in the seashore, the beautiful shell, ridge shell. So this if you go to the Tunga river in the bottom, you will find plenty of this. So everyone having a ornament from the containing pearl. So you might have not seen all this, but of course you know this octopus. So all these animals are from phylum Mollusca. Phylum Mollusca, all this you will see. Let us name. This is a chiton, dentalium. This is a snail, garden snail. African snail is a pest, slug. This is conch. This is pecten, cowrie, cardium. This is freshwater mussel. This is a pearl oyster. This is called squid. This is nautilus, and this is of course octopus. All these animals, they belong to the phylum Mollusca. Mollusca means soft bodied animals. So because of the soft body, they are covered with calcareous shell, or the shell made out of calcium carbonate. Of course, some of these are they don't have shell, and this one. So what are these animals and what are the characters of these animals, and more about phylum Mollusca, let us study. Molluscans are they are soft bodied shell bearing animals distributed mainly in marine habitats. Few are present in freshwater habitats and also terrestrial animals. So this is the largest phylum next to Arthropoda, comprising more than 2 lakh living species. So there are same number you will able to see fossilized one. There's abundant fossils, fossil molluscans found in different strata of the earth crust. So this they have colonized every possible habitat of the world, and most of these are aquatic one, and they are bottom dwelling or benthic form. Study of this mollusca and their habitat and their behavior and their structure and everything, it is called malacology. So there is also, so many are studying these molluscan shell, varieties of shell. You are so fond of collecting shells when you go to seashore. You will see the varieties of shell here, and beautifully architectured shell. So the study of molluscan shell is called conchology or conchology or conchology. So these mollusca, what are the general characters? So the molluscans are soft bodied, so that's why they are covered with the calcareous shell. They are triploblastic animals. They are bilaterally symmetrical. You will see this bilaterally symmetrical animals. They are unsegmented. Unlike to arthropoda, they are not metamerically segmented, they are unsegmented animals. Similar to arthropoda, they are true coelomate. They are also having a coelom, and this coelom is similar to arthropoda, is a schizocoelomate animals. So, what are the body divisions of mollusca? All molluscans have the body plan, they have three main parts: the muscular foot, visceral mass and mantle. So, you will see, if you, this is the freshwater mussel, the common mussel. If you go to the any freshwater body, you will see in the bottom. So, this, if you open the shell, or else you can see when it is moving, you can see it is throwing its with the help of its foot, it is moving. So, this is the muscular foot, is the characteristic of the, or you will find in all mollusca animals. Then the visceral mass, if you open the shell, there is a mass of the body tissues, it is called visceral mass, which contains digestive, circulatory, respiratory and reproductive organs. Then all this visceral mass, it is wrapped by outer, there is a flap of skin, it is called a mantle. So, these are the three basic part you will find in all mollusca: muscular foot, visceral mass, and all this visceral mass is wrapped in a flap of skin, that is called the mantle. Mantle produces outer shell, it secretes outer shell. So, more about these, let us study. So, this mollusca, it is externally, it is covered with the calcareous shell. See, the outermost layer of shell is composed of a protein called conchiolin. That is why it is so beautifully architectured shell. You will see different kinds of shell. So many having a hobby of collecting different types of shell and studying this shell. So, this shell is made out of a protein called conchiolin or conchiolin. So, the inner layer of shell is composed of calcium carbonate. These calcium carbonate, they occur in prismatic form, and that gives some porcelain outlook to many of these shell. Molluscan shells show variation in size, shape, color and architecture. You will see in this picture. Shell may be a single piece, univalved. You will see the cowrie shell or the conch shell. It is univalved. They are else bivalved. The shell of mussel, freshwater mussel, they are bivalved. You will see the shell here. It is the bivalved shell. Or else they may have the multi-shells, multi-valved shells. You will find in the case of chiton, there are 8 pieces of shells you will find. They may be, you will find multi-valved shells. So, they may be coiled one, they may be flat one. So, different kind of different types of shells you will find in mollusca. So, these shells, all these shells are secreted from the flap of skin, that is what the mantle that covers the viscera. So, what is mantle? Mantle, or else it is called a pallium, is a fold of skin and enclosing. You will find the inner, this is enclosed by a flap of skin. This is called the fold of skin. This is called mantle. The space between the mantle and viscera is called mantle cavity or pallial cavity. Mantle cavity contains gills, you will find. Then it also contains the anus. There is a siphon, you will find inhalant siphon, through that water enters, exhalant siphon, water going out. So, this is the mantle cavity opens outside through the inhalant and exhalant siphon. So, this exhalant siphon, where you will find the anus, the nephridiopores, opening of nephridia, and gonophores, opening of genital pore, all these are present in the mantle. So, this mantle secretes the outer shell. So, this there is a ciliary and muscular action of the mantle maintains water current inside the mantle cavity, so that's bring the respiration. And filter feeding, many molluscans, they filter the water, the water enters through the inhalant siphon and goes out through the exhalant siphon. It circulates in the mantle cavity, and mantle cavity having the ciliary cells, they collect all these microorganisms. They are forming the food for these mollusca. Many molluscans, they filter feeding, they collect the microorganisms from the water. Water enters through the inhalant siphon and goes out through the exhalant siphon. So this about the mantle. So the mantle is the basic structure which covers the viscera in the case of mollusca, and it also contribute to the shell. Shell is produced by the mantle. So how it is producing shells and all, we will study later. So another important structure you will find in mollusca is the ventral foot. So you will find the foot here. This is in the case of snail. In the freshwater mussel, you will see the foot is like a wedge shape. Here see the protruding foot. Here in the case of sepia, the foot is modified into the number of the arms. So it is a ventral powerful muscular foot. That is a characteristic of the animals of mollusca. They adapted for varied types of locomotion. They may bring a creeping locomotion of a snail, or else a burrowing locomotion in the case of dentalium, swimming locomotion in the case of many squids. They may adhere to the the rocks in the case of chiton, or else it may be sucking locomotion in the case of octopus. So you will find they are modified or adapted to perform different functions or different types of locomotions. Mucus glands are present in the foot. So in the case of parasitic and sedentary forms, the foot is they are modified into suckers. Even you will find in the case of sea mussel, the foot is having adhesive structure. Those are called byssal threads or byssus apparatus. So you will find the important character of the mollusca, the ventral foot, modified to perform different functions similar to the appendages in the case of arthropoda. Then coming to the viscera. So the viscera here, it is the body proper comprises all, the viscera comprises all vital organs of the body. So you will find this is the visceral hump. This visceral hump contains inside digestive system, excretory system, blood vascular system, reproductive system, all these, and also it encloses the coelom, the schizocoelic coelom, which encloses the pericardial cavity, excretory cavity and reproductive cavity. Then another important character in mollusca, the presence, the buccal cavity having a tongue-like structure, it is called radula. In many mollusca, this a feeding device similar to our tongue, but this beset with a ribbon-like tongue-like structure. It is beset with chitinous teeth, and this radula is used to the rasp the food. You will find this is the mouth where you can see this is a tongue-like structure. This is called radula. It used for rasping the food. It also like a sensory device. And regarding this this radula, is some molluscans, they are filter feeders. They may lack this radula, but majority forms you will find the mouth is having a tongue-like structure, which is called radula. It is used for rasping the food or scraping the food, marine algae, and it is also used for wayfinding because it has got some sensory structure. More about the molluscan general characters I'll explain you in my next video. So These molluscans are very interesting animals. So, are you racing with this? So, they are present here since last 500 million years, and they are in varieties, and more about all this I am going to explain you in my